The Vietnam War posed a series of unique challenges for the United States military. The dense jungles, hidden enemy forces, and unpredictable terrain made traditional warfare difficult. Larger aircraft, designed for previous wars, struggled to navigate this environment as they were deemed too slow, too big, and too vulnerable to ground fire. The U.S. initially relied on the Douglas A-1 Sky Raider for close air support during the early stages of the war, but they quickly realized it wasn't ideal for the challenges of Vietnam. While the Sky Raider was undeniably powerful, its large size and slow speed made it an easy target for enemy fire. The plane also struggled to operate from the smaller, rough airstrips near the front lines. And so, the U.S. needed a faster, jet-powered plane that could move quickly, strike precisely, and adapt to the difficult terrain. Except they didn't have anything like that. And so, the goal was simple. They needed someone to design a plane that could fly low, hit hard, and support ground troops effectively. It was this problem that set the stage for the birth of the A-37 Dragonfly. But the question was, who was going to build it? To answer this, the U.S. military turned to Cessna, a company known more for making civilian aircraft than military jets. Cessna had built planes for training pilots, except this time they were taking on a challenge unlike anything they've faced before. The military needed an aircraft that could handle the close air support role. That is, a plane that could fly right above the battlefield and help their soldiers by attacking enemy positions. Despite being an unlikely choice for this type of job, Cessna already had a plane in their lineup that could do the job, the T-37 Tweet. Originally built as a training jet for young pilots, the T-37 wasn't built for combat. However, the military saw something in its design that could be adapted for the battlefield. So, as part of the military's Project Gunship, they tasked Cessna with transforming the T-37 into a fully capable combat machine. But this wasn't just a simple repurposing. It required extensive modifications, including upgraded engines, heavier armament, and reinforced armor, turning it into the A-37 Dragonfly. This was a complex task, as the T-37 was essentially a trainer jet with limited power and no real combat capability. And so, in order to transform it into a combat-ready aircraft that could survive the brutal conditions of the Vietnam War, it needed major modifications. The first step in this transformation was boosting its power. The T-37's engines were upgraded to twin General Electric J-85 engines, providing the plane with a significant increase in speed and agility. These new engines helped the A-37 increase its speed and maneuverability, two crucial advantages for the low-altitude missions it would be performing. In addition to the engine upgrade, the plane's structure was reinforced with armor to protect the pilot and the vital systems of the aircraft. This added durability meant the plane could withstand damage and return safely to base. With the power and protection upgrades in place, the next step was to arm the A-37. The plane was fitted with a 7.62mm minigun mounted in its nose, capable of firing thousands of rounds per minute. This rapid-fire gun allowed the A-37 to lay down heavy fire on enemy targets, making it highly effective in close air support missions. But that wasn't all. The A-37 could also carry a variety of bombs, rockets, and even napalm. These weapons gave the plane the ability to attack a wide range of targets, from enemy troops and bunkers to supply lines and vehicles. Cessna's design team made sure the plane wasn't just powerful, but also practical. The A-37 was designed to be light and easy to maintain, while its small size allowed it to operate from short, rough airstrips, which was essential in the jungle environment of Vietnam. Larger jets required long, smooth runways, but the A-37 could take off and land from makeshift airstrips close to the front lines. This meant that it could respond quickly to calls for air support, getting to troops faster than other aircraft. Pilots would swoop down low over the jungle, using the plane's agility to strike enemy positions with precision. Its ability to fly close to the ground not only improved its accuracy, but also helped it avoid anti-aircraft fire, allowing it to target enemies that were hidden from larger, high-flying planes. The A-37's impact on the war was crucial and profound. Ground troops relied on its rapid response times and powerful weaponry to help turn the tide. And because of this, it became a key factor in deciding success or failure on the battlefield. Whether it was carrying out bombing runs, providing cover fire, or destroying critical enemy targets, the A-37 remained nimble enough to evade enemy fire. The plane's ability to operate from forward air bases near the front lines made it even more effective, allowing it to be where it was needed most, which was right at the center of the action. But what truly made the A-37 special wasn't just its technical specs. It was the relationship between the plane and the pilots who flew it. For pilots, A-37 was a reliable, responsive aircraft that gave them the ability to make quick decisions in the heat of battle. The plane's small size and light weight also made it easy to control, which was critical when flying at low altitudes and dodging enemy fire. Pilots also felt connected to the battlefield in a way that wasn't possible with larger jets. The A-37 allowed them to see the fight close up and make precise attacks that directly supported the troops on the ground. The plane quickly earned a reputation for its durability. The extra armor Cessna added to the A-37 made it tough enough to withstand hits from enemy ground fire, giving pilots confidence that their plane could get them home safely, even after taking damage. This resilience earned the A-37 the nickname Workhorse, as many pilots described it as a plane that could be relied on, mission after mission, to complete its tasks effectively and return in one piece. As the war progressed, the A-37 continued to prove its worth. It flew successfully in all kinds of weather and conditions, from the steamy jungles of Vietnam to the rugged hills and mountains. Its versatility allowed it to take on a variety of missions, including reconnaissance and search and destroy operations. The A-37's ability to take off from small, rough airstrips also meant it could be deployed quickly and flexibly, moving to where it was needed most at a moment's notice. Even after the Vietnam War ended, the A-37 story didn't stop. Although it had been designed with Vietnam in mind, the plane found new life in the air forces of other nations. The U.S. transferred many A-37s to the South Vietnamese Air Force, where they continued to play a critical role in the war's later stages. After the fall of South Vietnam, some of these planes were captured by North Vietnamese forces and saw limited use post-war. In Latin America, the A-37 was adopted by several countries, including El Salvador, Guatemala, and Colombia. These nations saw the A-37 as a reliable and affordable aircraft for both combat and training missions. Its small size, low operating costs, and versatility made it an attractive option for smaller air forces that couldn't afford cutting-edge jets. So, did the A-37 Dragonfly overachieve or underachieve? In many ways, it overachieved. That's particularly because the A-37 wasn't built to be a world beater. Yet, it's remarkable how what started as a simple modification of a training jet ended up as one of the most effective combat aircraft of the Vietnam War. The A-37 wasn't the fastest jet or the most technologically advanced, but it was designed for a specific purpose, and it excelled at it. Its affordability, durability, and adaptability allowed it to thrive in a challenging war and continue serving for years beyond its original mission. Perhaps the true genius of the A-37 was its ability to adapt to the battlefield's demands. Its small size and agility allowed it to access areas that larger planes couldn't, and its firepower made it a formidable force. The A-37 was an underdog built by a company known for civilian aircraft, which was then given missions that seemed far beyond its original design. And yet, time and again, the A-37 consistently proved that it could handle whatever challenges were thrown its way. In the end, the A-37 Dragonfly was more than just a solution to a specific problem. It became a symbol of how innovation and necessity can come together to create something extraordinary. It wasn't the flashiest or the most advanced aircraft, but it was exactly what the U.S. military needed during one of the most difficult conflicts in its history. The Dragonfly showed that sometimes the most effective planes aren't the ones with the most cutting-edge technology, but the ones that perform reliably and consistently, day in and day out. Even today, the legacy of the A-37 lives on. Its influence can be seen in modern military aircraft designed for close air support. The lessons learned from the Dragonfly's success in Vietnam have helped shape how the military approaches aircraft designs for future conflicts. And although the A-37 Dragonfly might never fly in combat again, its impact on military aviation is still felt to this very day. This enduring legacy is also reflected in the stories of the pilots who flew the A-37. These individuals were at the heart of its success, putting the aircraft through its paces in the most demanding conditions. Among these pilots, some gained particular recognition for their skill and bravery in combat. Lieutenant Colonel Dennis Selvig, a retired U.S. Air Force officer between 1970 to 1971, spoke of the Dragonfly's agility and responsiveness, saying, "We had more time on station than the big fighters, and unlike them, we could operate under cloud cover and in rough terrain that might have deterred a larger jet." In his words, the Dragonfly was a reliable companion that could maneuver any difficult terrain with ease and grace. Lieutenant Colonel Earl Brown, another notable A-37 pilot, also had high praise for the aircraft. Colonel Brown admired the Dragonfly's ability to perform in tough conditions, particularly its effectiveness on rough, makeshift airstrips near the front lines. He also highlighted how the plane's versatility and toughness allowed him to adapt quickly during combat, whether providing close air support or executing bombing runs. For Brown, the Dragonfly's greatest asset was its balance of speed, firepower, and survivability, making it a favorite among pilots in the heat of battle. But as we reflect on the story of the A-37, we're reminded that sometimes even the smallest planes can leave the biggest mark. The Dragonfly might not have been the most powerful or the most advanced jet, but it earned its place in history through hard work, reliability, and an ability to adapt to the demands of a changing battlefield. The A-37 Dragonfly was, and remains, a testament to the power of innovation and the importance of getting the job done right, no matter the odds.